Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're really digging into some specific info that came out via Yardbarker, originally from the Jaguars' SI site.
Yeah, it gives us a bit of an inside look, or at least an analyst's perspective, on what's happening inside the Jags offseason program.
And it centers on one player specifically, a guy getting, well, a ton of buzz.
Right, Travis Hunter, the two-way phenom,
Yeah,
second overall pick. Just a really fascinating prospect.
definitely. And the source adds this, personal touch, too. It mentions he's been the life of the party during the off-season stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, showing off dance moves, catching passes with a big smile. Sounds like he's fitting in, bringing some energy.
that's great to hear. Good vibes are always good. But for this deep dive, our mission really is to unpack the plan described in this source.
Okay.
Like, how exactly do they intend to use him? This rare kind of talent
Mhm.
at the NFL level, what's the thinking according to this particular viewpoint?
Gotcha. So the insight here, the source makes clear, comes mainly from Bucky Brooks, NFL Network guy.
And he's got ties to the Jaguars, right?
Exactly. That's what the source highlights. Former player, and he's their current preseason broadcaster. So he's actually there watching OTAs.
Okay, so he's got eyes on the situation.
Yeah. And these comments apparently came up on his podcast, Move the Sticks.
Right. And what's really interesting is how Brooks apparently frames their approach. It's not like, full-time both ways immediately.
No, not 50-50. He uses this analogy, kind of thinking about managing talent maybe at a lower level.
The high school analogy.
Yeah, exactly. He said something like, if he was playing on my high school team, we would have Travis Hunter like a 1.5 player.
I like that. 1.5. It immediately tells you it's not an even split. There's a clear primary role.
Right. It sets the expectation.
And he breaks down what that 1.5 actually looks like in their plan for Hunter this season. The source quotes him.
Okay, what's the quote say?
He says Hunter is going to start on offense and then be a situational player on defense.
Which, I mean, that fits with what a lot of people speculated, but Brooks gives the reasoning behind it, tying back to that analogy.
Yeah, it's about workload, right? He says the thinking is you don't want to wear your guy out all the way.
Makes sense. Preserve the asset,
Yeah.
especially someone doing potentially double duty.
Exactly. So the main takeaway from this part of the source is really that emphasis on, let's say, smart management from day one.
Uh-huh. Taking lessons from maybe simpler situations and applying them to the pros. Longevity, effectiveness.
Right, making sure he can actually sustain it.
And then, according to the source, Brooks gets really specific about how they're structuring this in practice.
Oh, yeah, like the actual schedule.
Yeah, he says they have everything planned out,
Okay, laid out clearly.
and he gives the breakdown. 3 days of offense, 1 day of defense.
Wow, okay, 3-1. That's a very concrete split. Tells you
Yeah.
where the main focus is.
Definitely. And that one defensive day, Brooks apparently indicated it's very targeted.
Targeted how?
Focused on the specific situations where they envision using him on D.
Ah, so the high leverage moments, like what specifically?
Brooks mentioned things like third down, red zone, gotta have it situations, basically preparing him for those impact plays.
Okay, so not necessarily trying to get him ready for every single defensive down. More like special packages.
Oh, seems like it based on this, which, it does raise the question, how do you make any defensive snaps work consistently when he's primarily an offensive player?
Right, the physical toll, the mental switch.
And the source says Brooks thinks the team's defensive scheme actually helps here.
He brings up the scheme. How so?
He believes it's a lot easier to do it when you're more of a zone-based team than a man-based team.
Okay, zone versus man. Why does he think zone makes it easier for a two-way guy?
Well, his reasoning, per the source, is about the physical demand. He says, when you think about zone, it's not the running around that is required in man-to-man.
Ah, okay. Man coverage means you're locked onto a guy, chasing him all over the field. Much more running, reacting constantly.
Exactly. More demanding, play after play. Zone, he kind of describes it as more contained.
Right, more about see ball, get ball, hang in your area. Less constant sprinting, maybe?
Yeah, less taxing, potentially, than being in man while also thinking about your offensive routes or whatever. Brooks feels this approach plays to his strength.
Makes the whole idea of the dual role seem a bit more feasible, maybe? The defensive side isn't quite as physically draining snap to snap because of the zone concepts.
Yeah, that seems to be the gist of it. So if you piece together what this source, through Brooks's perspective, is telling us, the Jaguars seem to have this very deliberate, structured plan. It's offense first, primarily.
It's already on offense.
Then these specific strategic defensive snaps. Key moments, third downs, red zone.
Got it. Situational impact on D.
The practice schedule, that 3-to-1 split, really underlines that focus.
Reinforces the priority.
And the zone-based scheme is maybe seen as the key to making it work without just grinding him down physically.
Yeah, it provides a really specific window into how they might be thinking about managing this unique skill set, maximize the impact, but also, mitigate the risks, the huge physical toll.
For sure. And the source wraps up by quoting something that really captures the whole situation.
What's that?
It notes, every fan will be waiting to see how Hunter handles himself in an NFL jersey and if he can really continue his full game domination at the professional level.
Yeah, that says it all, doesn't it? That's the big question mark. The anticipation is huge. Can he actually do it?
It is the ultimate test. Which leads us to a final thought for you, the listener, based on everything we've just unpacked from this source.
Okay.
Given this specific plan, primarily offense, situational defense, the 3-to-1 practice split, the reliance on zone, what specific challenges do you think Travis Hunter might still face trying to translate that full game domination idea to the NFL, even with this careful approach?